Okay, YouTube, I'm back. So I will have colds, and that will trigger asthma episodes. And that was it. And when the cold was gone, the episode was gone. Then I went through a bout of, because I was so tall and carrying the extra weight, I was awkward on my feet. So I went through a phase in time where I used to break bones. I broke my finger, dislocated my hip, broke my toes and didn't even know it. I've sprained ankles repeatedly and tore ligaments in my knees. And this is just being awkward, getting into that puberty stage where you're awkward, just normal stuff that the child goes through. But I was broken up probably a little more than your average adolescent. The orthopedic doctor was seeing me on a regular. I was on crutches and in casts more than I can remember when I was a young pre-teen. Sorry about that, it was my phone. When I was a preteen. In middle school, my mom sent me and my brother to private school. And at the first private school I went to, which was Holy Comforter, I was good. The children didn't bother me there. They wouldn't tease me there. It was fine. And then I switched over to another school, and the kids were really cruel. They would call me names, call me a boxing turkey, oink at me like a pig, snap my bra straps, pull my hair. Because I was the heaviest girl in the playground, they would come up behind me and we would have to wear these Catholic school uniforms and flip my skirt up on the playground. At that point for preteen, and I was going through a lot with being awkward, you know, because I was taller and I was heavier than everyone anyway. And being teased on top of it, I became stressed and I developed shingles. My hair began to fall out. And along with the stress came asthma problems. I started developing asthma problems because of the amount of stress of being bullied in school. I will say that there were times where honestly I thought about committing suicide, but being raised in church, I just knew that it wasn't right, and so rather than commit suicide, I would either sing until it felt like the pain would vanish, eat, withdraw, and withdrawing were my coping mechanisms. Then when I graduated from there, I felt like I was free, and I got accepted into Duke Ellington School of the Arts, which was one of my dreams as a young teen, to go to Duke Ellington School of the Arts for vocal music and to sing. I did very well there my first year, and the children there and the students there weren't cruel and mean. I was doing fine, you know, there the first year. My second year became rocky. During our second year, we moved into a home that my mom purchased, and the house was beautiful. We moved in, but the owner did not mention to us that the home flooded and the basement had mold in it. Asthmatics and mold do not get along. So, and by the second year, I started developing asthma problems again, along with the stresses of school and having a day that went from 7:30 in the morning to almost 6 o'clock in the evening. That's just with school, and then I would still have to come home and study, and I had my regular studies on top of my music courses, and then I went back to school the next day after sleeping, showering, and getting something to eat. The asthma progressed really bad to the point where I was put on prednisone for a year, and within that year I went from 160 pounds, which was a size 16, up to a 32, I think within a year, up to a woman size 32, and gained, I started out at 160, and by the end of the year, I think I was close, like a pound or two away from being 400 pounds. Um, and during that time, my mother was working. She had to quit her job to come home to take care of me. And with her stressing and worrying about me, she also became sick, and it became impossible for her to work. My mother took very good care of me. Also during this time, because I was in Duke Ellington, which was the outer boundary specialty school, and I could not attend school regularly, I had to be sent back to my neighborhood school, which was Eastern Senior High School in Washington, D.C. But that didn't stop me. I went to Eastern Senior High School, and even though it wasn't Duke Ellington, I continued to try to sing and join the choir, because singing is just a joy to me. I love to do it. So I joined the choir, and not long after joining the choir, I did a Christmas special called Christmas in Washington, that they take local high school choirs and put them on the stage to sing for the president during the president's Christmas special. And after doing that program, I wasn't able to go back to school. I was able to get through and sing at that event, and I wasn't able to go back to school. I had to be given a home tutor. My asthma condition would be so bad at times that my doctor would look at me and say, "I don't know how you're walking around." I would be so low on oxygen until my joints and my muscles would literally hurt. I would pass out. I passed out in school stairwells, and no one knew I was there until a teacher would send someone to come find me, and they would find me passed out in the stairwell. Excuse me, I'm trying not to cry. I would try to walk around my home and pass out. I recall one night I was getting myself together. I had just really been brought home from the hospital, and I was trying to get myself together to go up to my room. And all I remember doing is trying to walk over to flip the light switch to turn the lights off for the night. And the next thing I remember is my mother over me, kind of like tapping my face, trying to bring me to. And during the time that I had passed out, I had released urine. I had urinated on myself, and it was really scary because I didn't even realize that I had even passed out. I know another time I had passed out from my oxygen level and my blood pressure dropping so low that I remember coming to and being wheeled into a hospital emergency room. Didn't even know which hospital I was at. I knew I was in an emergency room. During that time as well, this is like from the age of 15 through 18, I was hospitalized at George Washington University Hospital numerous times. I had an excellent team of doctors. And I remember singing and praying, and I was like, I'm not going through this for nothing. I'm going through this for a reason. And I would pray for people. Even though I was sick, I would pray for others before I prayed for myself. I would still try to sing in church. I did not stop. I was determined to live. Even though at times during the illness, I would be in bed and my bedroom door could be closed and you could hear me breathing on the next level, in the living room on the next level of my home. And it got to the point where some nights I was so scared to go to sleep because I didn't think I would wake up the next day. I remember one week where I stayed woke for 3 days straight. Praying and asking God to deliver me from the illness. Then, at a point, my prayers of hope turned into prayers of frustration, asking God, why me? And then I was sitting there thinking, why not me? He gave his only son that we I live. And then I also went through bouts where I just prayed for God to take me home so I would not have to suffer and so I wouldn't be a burden on my family. This is going to be a 3-part video. I'll be back.